This is Brother Jason, and we're back again with the Baptist Catechism. Today we're looking at question number 17. Question number 17 of the Baptist Catechism asks this: Did our first parents continue in the glad obedience for which they were created? Did they continue in that state? The answer: no. But desiring to be like God, our first parents forsook the obedience of faith, ate of the forbidden tree, sinned against God, and fell from the innocence in which they were created. What does the Bible have to say about this? Well, in Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 through 7, we read this: Now the serpent was more crafty than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, Indeed has God said, You shall not eat from any tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, From the fruit of the trees of the garden we may eat, but from the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, You shall not eat of it, or touch it, or you will die. And the serpent said to the woman, You surely will not die. For God knows that in the day you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was a delight to the eyes, and the tree was desirable to make one wise, she took from its fruit and ate. She gave also to her husband with her, and he ate. And the eyes of the both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. They sewed fig leaves together and made themselves loin coverings. Did God originally tell them that they could not touch the tree? Well, when God told Adam he could eat from any tree of the garden except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, nothing was mentioned about touching it. Maybe Adam told her, Don't touch that tree. We don't know how long it was that Adam and Eve were in this perfect state of innocence and purity and holiness before they decided to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But once they did, everything changed. They knew that they were naked. That wasn't an issue before because they were perfect, pure, and holy and good. There was no sin in them. But now that they knew that they were shameful. They were full of shame. Shame was a new experience for the both of them. Shame comes with sin. It's a result of it. The Bible here says that Eve saw that there were three things about this fruit that were desirable. It was desirable for food. It was good for food. It was beautiful to look at, and the tree was desirable to make one wise. So she fell for the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the boastful pride of life here in this first sin in the Garden of Eden. We find that Adam and Eve did not continue in the estate that God created them. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 29 states this: Behold, I have found only this, that God made men upright, but they have sought out many devices. Solomon, after all of his experiences and experiments in wisdom, discovered that God had made men upright originally, but mankind has sought out many devices, many ways to sin. And from our youth, from our childhood, that's what we do. We discover all sorts of ways to sin. We find new ways to do that. One more verse here, Romans chapter 5, verse 12 states this: Therefore, just as through one man sin entered into the world, and death through sin, so death spread to all men because all sinned. The result of Adam eating that fruit, becoming guilty of what God told him not to do, he died. He physically started dying that day. He died in that first 1,000-year day, and he would pass death to all of his descendants. Because Adam died, Eve died, their children died, their grandchildren died, and everybody all the way up to this point, because every person is a sinner. Every single person. Question 17. Did our first parents continue in the glad obedience for which they were created? The answer? No. But desiring to be like God, our first parents forsook the obedience of faith, ate from the forbidden tree, sinned against God, and fell from the innocence in which they were created.